Shortcuts. Here we have video 2 for March 29th, 2023. This list covers classic rock, thrash metal, dance, and all sorts. Starts off with two pretty unique and unusual records too. So, shall we get on with it? All right, here we go. You're not expecting this. Anthrax, State of Euphoria. Fourth album. The band had been labelled one of the kind of big four thrash, kind of leaders in the market. Look at that. Yeah. Great condition. Now, why is this the lead-off record? Well, the Japanese did some pretty unusual things with early thrash. They treated them as true audiophile performers. In this case, and I think this is true, I haven't been able to wholly verify it, but I haven't been able to find any evidence to the contrary. This is the only country that released Anthrax State of Euphoria in a double LP 45 RPM mix. And if you look on Discogs and on various forums that laud these types of bands, this is the record to have, bar none. Absolutely unique pressing, incredible condition, barnstorming sound, bonkers album, better than I think was probably reviewed at the time, and worthy of a Shortcuts lead off. Now, this record almost took Anthrax's lead off spot. This is Below the Belt by Boxer from, I think, 1976. Again, this is hard cardboard Japanese gatefold. Look at that. Look at this band. How strung out do these guys look? Boxer were a hard rock / prog band from mid-70s. Only made a couple of records. The lead singer went off to become lead singer of Spooky. Actually, he joined. I think Spooky Tooth was his previous band, and his name is Mike Pato, and he made a very rare and somewhat kind of crate digger, holy grail vinyl record called Pato, with this incredible kind of line drawn, bonkers, strung out head on the front cover. Very distinctive if you're lucky enough to have it. Anyway, unsurprisingly, that record drew some ire in the US for its sleeve and its nudity. The model, Stephanie Marianne, became somewhat of a cause célèbre, and the whole record was redesigned in the US. They used that strung out band centerfold in the US, but in Japan it was they held forth, and pretty interesting record it is too. It's kind of remarkable that this is the third record on tonight's list. The Clash, London Calling. Couple of interesting things about this record. The Japanese first press is the only gatefold that ever existed. Every other pressing was kind of slip in, double LP slip in, and that's the case with this. This is the 25th anniversary pressing, 2004, UK. If you don't want to spend big bucks on original pressings from either the UK or Japan, then this is the record to have. It sounds great. Really full bass, driving record. It's so kaleidoscopic in its scope. Um, it totally lives up to the hype. London Calling, 2004 pressing. It's a good one. As is this. And I cannot figure out whether this is a 1971 first press or a 1972 repress. But this is the Deja Vu, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young in hard cardboard gatefold with the kind of snake skin sleeve. Beautiful copy on the original Atlantic label. A couple of club members have bought it recently and have sent me messages telling me how lovely it sounds, and I agree. This next record is a bit of a strange one. So this is one that we'll have seen before. Cream, Wheels of Fire, the silver foil first press with that dramatic pink inner fold. Now, Wheels of Fire was released as a double album with a studio record and a live record, or a live record, which was the gold foil, or the silver foil, which was the studio record. This copy that's arrived has the gold foil cover. It should only have one record in it, the live album featuring Spoonful and other Cream classics, but it has both the live album and the studio album. So you're getting two records for your money. Cream, Wheels of Fire. Yeah, there we go. It's what arrived, so it's what will get sent out to whoever purchases. All right, something completely different. Chic and Sister Sledge, Japanese-only compilation album of the best of those two classic disco records, all the way from Le Freak. So the first two songs, Le Freak and I Want Your Love, is then followed by Sister Sledge's He's the Greatest Dancer, followed by Sister Sledge's We Are Family. It's just amazing. Anyway, a lot of fun, that album, for obvious reasons. As is this record. Stiff Records, 1979, ska influenced, had 5 singles that were constant rotation on when MTV was born. The Mighty Madness, and a Japanese first press of their debut album, One Step Beyond, which I think for me has one of the great opening 3-song salvos of any band, maybe even more than London Calling. Side 1, track 1, One Step Beyond. Side 1, track 2, My Girl. Side 1, track 3, Night Boat to Cairo. Nailed it, Madness. What I love about these lists is just the weird anomalies that happen. So we're going to have to follow that with A Night in Tunisia, 1957. Art Blakey, maybe his second most famous album behind Moanin', with great Jazz Messengers lineup. In this case, I have not been able to find this listing anywhere on Discogs. I don't think it exists. Because this one has the inlay card as the back sleeve, and it's also on, it's not on hard cardboard. It's in pretty good condition. I think it's obviously therefore a pretty early pressing, but I can't find which one. So someone might be able to solve that for me. Now, the Japanese love Art Blakey, and they love French chanteuse singers like Sylvie Vartan and Françoise Hardy. The other rabbit hole that they dive down, which I find kind of endearing, is James Bond. they adore James Bond. And they make these incredible James Bond records. In this case, this one's called, it's just basically called 007 Soundtrack. And it's a hard cardboard gatefold with various images of the various Bonds. It has, of course, some glamour on the inner sleeve. But for those Aussies out there who are fans of George Lazenby, one of the great Bonds, of course, there's George Lazenby with his pistol, looks like a Luger, and his skis. So with Obi, on Her Majesty's Secret Service, Goldfinger, Dr. No, Thunderball, From Russia with Love, You Only Live Twice, and that's side one only. How cool is that? With Obi as well, I've never seen it before. All right, this is very different, but also very cool. So one of my favorite bands is Outkast. They're poorly served when it comes to vinyl, though. Really, the vinyl offerings out there for Outkast records are pretty average, except for those pressed by Vinyl Me Please. They have done some stellar work with early Outkast records. But they've never pressed this one because there was a really good press of Speaker Box, The Love Below. Now, this is a quadruple album, 4 times 180 gram vinyl. The original pressings of this record were shockingly bad. Really. Absolute travesties. But this one is really good. And I've had a copy of it for ages. Managed to find a second copy, and I thought, you know what, I'll snaffle that up for the club. Whoever gets that just gets it at the cost price that it cost me. And I love it. It's great. Now, every time I see this album, I pick it up. This is an Aussie copy. It's in great nick, which is why I'm listing it here. This is the soundtrack to Amadeus. It's utterly wonderful. What a genius. Just mind-blowing. I went round to a very dear friend's house on Friday evening, and he put up a 100-inch projector screen, and we watched Moon Age Daydream, the somewhat kaleidoscopic and rather odd but compelling documentary about the life of David Bowie. Bowie, my dog, is lying asleep just over there. And so, as you might not be too surprised to hear that I loved it from start to finish. It was incredible. But it wasn't as good as this movie. One of the greatest movies ever made. Amadeus. And the music on this soundtrack. Incredible. All right. Let's finish this off with some really great stuff. Working Man's Dead. Japanese first press on the Green Warner's label, actually, of the Grateful Dead's classic album. I cannot stress how utterly wonderful this is. If you just love... for those of you who've dabbled in Deja Vu, Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, it is but a hop, skip, and a jump to Working Man's Dead, Grateful Dead. You should explore. All right, a couple of things, 3 to go. 1 classic, and 2 that I've never had on the list before. This one, Purple Passages, Deep Purple. The double, this is a double album, I think. Hard cardboard gatefold of Deep Purple's circa 1968, probably early 1970. So this is the Deep Purple of songs like Hush, and Kentucky Woman, which is one of my favorites. This is, Richie Blackmore, Ian Pace, and these guys before you had Ian Gillan on board. Before their lead singer went off to start Captain Beyond, who's another Shortcuts favorite, but brilliant compilation, and Japan only. So this was only ever released in Japan. I think it had a limited release in the US too, so not quite the only Japan, but the only wide release was Japan. So it charted in Japan, but nowhere else. There's rumors of a very small pressing that went out in Venezuela for some bizarre reason. But it's a really interesting and really well recorded and just fun record. For those of you who like to have the sound wash over them and every so often just turn up and just go, I'm in the hands of a genius. This person just gets it. For a lot of you, I know that person is Jeff Lynne, of course, of Electric Light Orchestra fame. So this is Discovery, Japanese first press, hard cardboard, gatefold. I think it's the first time it's ever appeared on the Shortcuts list. Not the first time for this, though. Every time I see it, I grab it because it's so good. And I continue to have club members go, my gosh, it's great. Harvest, Neil Young, Japanese first press, hard cardboard gatefold. You cannot go wrong. All right. Well, there's an eclectic bunch, as always. Hope you enjoyed the video, found something new, or something that intrigues you for Wednesday evening. Give me feedback as always. Subscribe. All that good business. Share this out if you think you've got any mates or friends who might like this kind of stuff. Then please don't be shy. And I will look after you if you introduce new members. All right. I will sign off and see you all on Wednesday. Thank you.